Welcome back, guys. Hope you've enjoyed the last breakdown. We had a bit of a mishap on one that I did a couple of weeks ago, and it got pulled down from YouTube. So let's hope this one makes it through to you guys. I'm enjoying breaking stuff down, and we got some good feedback from the Gordon one. So what we're going to look at today is the 2022 match of the year, Kade Ruotolo versus PJ Barch. That's the match we're looking at from ADCC. Now, let's give all praise to FloGrappling, who have put this up on their YouTube page. We very much thank them for allowing us to break this down. I want to be very clear, I'm not copywriting their material. I'm repurposing and breaking it down. If you want to watch the full match, go to FloGrappling, and I'll put up the link to their YouTube page here. Please go there and watch the match. This is going to be a breakdown in approximately 30 minutes or so. So for the short attention span ADD kids, you might have to go check TikTok if you're allowed to in your country, because we're going to spend some time on this. So hopefully those that are left, let's get into some good jiu-jitsu here. But thank you to FloGrappling, and we won't be just using your entirety of your product here. We're going to be stopping and starting and repurposing. So just to be very clear about that. Now, we'll also put the link in the description to their YouTube page. So let's begin here. It's it's a semi-final match. And it's PJ and it's Kade, and I think that's all we need to know. So let's go through. I haven't watched this match for a couple of years, I want to say. So I'm interested to see my take on it now, see what we can pull out of it. I kind of like to not watch these matches before I break them down. I like to uncover things as we're going and sort of together cover the info. So I deliberately don't study it through, because I don't want this to be like a pre-rehearsed thing. I just want to react and give you guys my view as a guy who has coached high-level athletes, and has been to ADCC now 2 or 3 times. Two times. Yes. Okay, let's go. All right. Now we're going to have a nice mixture here between PJ's wrestling, maybe more wrestling style, a little bit of judo, and since here he's done a lot more judo, but more of a wrestling style. And then Kade really, I feel like, operates with counter throws and counter judo. So this is going to be interesting. PJ's underhook and shots versus Kade's overhook and counter throws. And let's see how that plays out. I mean, these Ruotolo kids have such long arms. Let's look. He reaches and manages to take an ankle pick from, I mean, look at him standing there. His arms, his hands nearly reach down to his knees. It's crazy. Watch here. Okay. He reaches. They do this inside reach, and they just see whether they can just kind of fuck with you. Can they reach for you and grab hold? He actually manages to hook up a grip here, and PJ has to turn out. Look, he's made an ankle pick here with an inside pick, which is super weird, and actually manages to pull PJ's foot in, and PJ has to come up and limp out. And look, Kade is actually trying to get to his hip because he's limping out. Kade is trying to get to that far hip and see if he can get back exposure out of this. But because, if you notice there, PJ used that thumb post when he turned away, he stopped the back exposure. Watch that again. Okay, so he shrugs him off. Instead, he shrugs the collar tie off by just going inside the tricep and shrugging him free, as opposed to using more traditional methods for clearing it out. And then he starts faking. So you see the level changes, the up and down, the height changes. This is something they do a lot of. And I talked about this in the breakdown I did with Kade and Andrew Tackett. Everybody knows to do a down block and defend, but once you get people faking and you're trying to reach for them and then they change level on you, that's when high-level guys have success. And watch, he gets in on the single here. And they've got such long arms that they can reach singles from crazy distance. Look, picks up the single, just what we call a little snatch single there. And now PJ defends the same way he did with the ankle pick earlier. He thumb posts the shoulder and then he limps free. Now he needs to be careful because he exposes the back. We'll see. Does Kade reach for the far hip again? No. He decides to just have a little kick at the leg there and foot sweep / kick. Beautiful. They haven't used, let's look at that again. They haven't used this as a time to rest. They've actually gone at it. So, like I said when we first started this, I had a feeling PJ might use underhooks. And he does here. Let's watch this. Okay, so see what he does there. Kade's taken a collar tie, a left collar tie here, and PJ's trying to either go on the outside or inside, pummeling back for collar ties. Okay, he pummeled towards the collar tie and then punched an underhook, which he's just about to do here. Boom. Okay, so you see he's taking an underhook. Now, there's many spots you can put your hand. So see his right hand here. He could put it on the near shoulder. He could put it on the far trap. He could have it down the back. There's lots of different positions guys like, but this is probably the favorite, especially amongst maybe American wrestlers, where they'll cup the shoulder and flare the elbow. And in flaring the elbow, you can really make it hard for them to work their overhook and whizzer, which is what the Ruotolos are known for. Okay, so look, immediately, Kade does what he should do. He wins the inside head position, and he goes overhook, and look at PJ's elbow. It's low here. This is I would say, advantage Ruotolo to some degree at this stage. Okay, PJ goes, I don't like this, and look what he does. He lifts, he locks his elbow in, but he lifts not with his elbow, but he actually lifts using his bicep. This is actually quite nice. He sets his bicep underneath Ruotolo's bicep and throws by. So he manages to free his left hand grip and cup the tight waist on the far side, and he's going to attempt to throw him by. Look at this. Boom. Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay, misses the far hip, tries to go to the near side leg, and Ruotolo's got cat-like balance and manages to just turn back in. Nice little exchange there, though. So this is all, see the sort of punching at the chest and moving hands around. That's all to set things up. That's just all misdirectional hand fighting to try and see if they can set something up. Single legs was on the agenda for Mr. Ruotolo. So this is an interesting grip. I've seen Nicholas Marigali use this as well, where they come in on the single and they go to this figure 4 grip and they lock over the top of the quadricep, and it kind of gives you a good ability to control the femur, and you can put weight down with your chest and really pull down. It makes it hard for the guy to limp out. Now PJ's limped out of all the others. Let's see what he does here. I think he'd like to limp. That seems to be what PJ likes to do, but he's got to freeze knee line. He can't limp if he can't. There, the knee line's coming free. Yep, look, see? So you have to free that knee line to get a limp. So what he's done is he felt he finally managed to make enough room for his knee line to extract. So now he starts to thumb post the side of Ty's neck, which not Ty, Kade. And we know what that does is it stops or limits the back taking ability of Kade here. No, didn't manage to limp free. There we go. Beautiful. So for those watching that are wondering what are some ideas for single leg defense, limp out defense is a really nice option, especially if you've got flexible hips. See the head position of Kade here? Kade's always got good head position. So it seems to me like Kade is so confident with his overhook game that he doesn't really care about giving up underhooks. He did it against Andrew Tackett as well. So he doesn't play a super tight game like a traditional wrestler might play with their elbows to their ribs, so you can't get underhooks on them. You watch Greco guys, underhook means end of the game pretty much, so their elbows are like this. You see a Ruotolo with their elbows out wide, and it tells me they're so confident with their overhook that, you know, with their uchis and the haraigoshi, that they don't really care about giving up the underhook. Now PJ's very good at it. PJ threw him by before off that underhook. I think we're going to get a reset here, but let's see. They're on the edges. This particular year, they didn't light the edges of the mats very well. 2024 was a much better year for the production, but this was still pretty cool at the time. Okay, so he's resetting him in the middle. And let's see what he can do with that. But you notice, back to what I said before, realistically here, Kade has the better head positioning. Kade's head is on the inside of PJ's right ear. That's the better head positioning. So right now, PJ's kind of out of position. We'll see if he attempts to throw by again with his head out there, which he can definitely do. We'll see. That's what he wants. He needs to make an angle on him slightly. No, he goes to a snap instead. Interesting. He's got the head position back. So that was interesting. So what PJ decided to do there is he couldn't throw him by because I think he felt that he couldn't get a good enough angle to throw him by. So he felt him circling, in which case he snapped off the underhook. So when you snap off an underhook, you want to take that hand and connect it where their arm joins to their torso, and your elbow now points down, and you snap and take a front headlock. He snapped and went to a collar tie because he didn't get the head all the way down. But what it ended up doing was giving PJ the underhook with the head position he wants. So let's see where we go here. Oh, nice little foot sweep. Let's run that again and see if we can make sense of what happened there. So he snaps him. Okay, so watch. See the posture of Kade here? This is not a good posture by any means. His head's stuck down. He's wanting to free his head. If he just backs out, his head will continue to get pulled down low. So that doesn't make sense. So he's trying to clear these grips and pull his head up. Now, anytime someone pulls up like that, generally you'll find that their feet are close to you, and you can use different variations of ashiwaza or judo foot sweeping techniques. So watch what happens here. PJ's like, okay, I think I'm losing the head here. Let's see. Yep, watch. So he's going to try and time Kade's head coming up, and he's going to try and use a Diashi Harai or variation here. Look at it. Look at this. He manages to get his ankle inside his knee too. But what he doesn't get enough is what you have to do to make this work is he has to pull a whole bunch of weight down over, I suppose, Kade's left shoulder here. And I think he doesn't get that with the underhook here. So see, he kind of staggers him. And I mean, Kade's balance is just crazy. Puts him to a knee even. And then Kade's already starting to belly out and turn back in. Just refuses to be down in a bottom position. And now PJ's got that front headlock he wanted. So the tail of that was PJ went to throw by, but it felt like he couldn't throw him by, so he snapped him. Good idea off the underhook. He feels him posturing up out of the snap, so he sweeps with the foot and pulls down and hits him with a Diashi. And then as he stumbled him, then he snatched up the front headlock. It's a very nice little series. So if you have a look here, PJ wants to keep a chin strap and his right elbow very tight. I can't see if he's got his hands locked or not, but PJ does a fair bit of more traditional wrestling, so he's pretty good with open hand grips. And he'll have his elbow pinched and very high so that Ruotolo can't just drag out, and he's going to be looking to try and get behind him here. Now, if we go half a step back, but I won't go all the way back for you guys, Kade needed to be careful there, because when he steps up that leg, he can be leg grabbed or put into cradle situations. And it looks to me like PJ's about to grab that leg and try and do something with it here. Yep, he goes into I wouldn't call it an ankle pick, but I think he was just trying to knee pick here. And then he lost the whole thing. Okay, points are on now. PJ's back into the underhook. Because they're squared up. So see, I'd say because they're so square here, if PJ feels like he can't step around with his right leg to start to throw him by, you'll see him start to try and snap him down and go into front headlock attacks. Let's see. See if he goes. People tend to go in the same pattern. Grip right up in the groin if he could. Oh, he snatched a double that time. Oh, beautiful. We'll let this run and then I'm going to go back. Let's go back. Watch this. This is lovely. So we've been talking the whole time saying, is PJ going to shoot on a double? Well, Kade finally gets in, and so this is 2022, 2024, Kade wins the $1 million at the Craig Jones Invitational, and he actually, I think the move that won him the match pretty much was him running a blast double, not in the final. This was his match against Andrew Tackett. The move that won him that match, which was a very close match, was his blast double as well. So let's watch here. He snatches, and so far he's been snatching singles. This is the first time that he changes the doubles. So remember before I said grapplers don't tend to change during the match? Well, there's some special guys who can, and they tend to be champions, which Kade ended up becoming. So watch. See here? So now he's gone false grip in the back of the knee. So if you can't get a lock double, which is not very easy, you want to try and get a false grip, or you want to try and sag your elbows over. So have a look where he's got here. Now he starts to run him down. Okay, so he's going to start to run him down, beautiful. And then what PJ does what Ruotolo normally does. He's doing exactly what I said Kade wanted to do to him. He's turned and he's whipped in here to an uchi. Now, PJ's got very nice judo as well. So look at his elbow. See his elbow's pointing up? That's a good indicator that PJ's uchi is good. He's lifting with his elbow. His head's going to go down. But you actually see that he's trying to throw him with uchi, but his leg's not in the middle at this stage. So he actually kind of uchis him without his leg being in the middle. It's kind of interesting that he managed to whip him over with just his overhook and land him over his hip. So it's not really a traditional uchi. Now he's trying to hold on. Realistically, Kade should win that battle, but yep, they're back up to their feet. So just so you guys understand, under ADCC rules, or under ADCC judging criteria, Kade probably wins the judges' criteria there, and that's more favored for him. He was the one initiating the action. They really like takedowns in wrestling. They like to see people trying to put the match on the floor. So that would have been a net positive for Kade, even though PJ kind of countered to some degree with the throw. And now he's gone in. Finally, we see a shot from PJ. Beautiful. Okay, let's go back. That was really nice. PJ's so good. He's one of the most well-rounded guys. Okay, so watch here. He goes for the hand grab. So see what I said in the beginning, how they're setting each other up with all the grabbing? Well, that's exactly what he's done here. He's set him up, he's gone to grab, and then he's going to change level and he shoots onto a single. Boom. He would like to get a double, but he can't. But look at the penetration step. His right leg is so deep here. So he gets in on that single. He's here. And then immediately starts to circle to get an angle around behind Kade. Kade wants to be squared up with the front of PJ, and PJ wants to get around behind him, and he's already pretty much achieved it. The only thing stopping him getting to his back is the whizzer or the overhook. Now watch what PJ does. Okay, so PJ recognizes there's a big whizzer in there. I've got to clear that out. So watch what he does. He does what we call a limp. So what he does here is he's on the single, he turns his elbow up, and then he limps, throwing his arm through, and then cuts back in. So now PJ's going to try and get his right hand to the far hip and get to a body lock situation. Yep, there it goes. So see, he's trying to get to the far hip, and then he wants to come in, and Kade wants to turn back in. This is advantage PJ right now. Very nice. And now, and we see this from the Ruotolo brothers, particularly Kade, as I've watched him so much, that once their whizzer is no longer available and now they're in the back, they tend to like to Granby roll, and they like to forwards roll and Victor's roll into your legs. So let's see how this plays out. So what he tried to do was come back over and re-achieve the whizzer, but he couldn't. PJ put his hands to the mat, and the referee shouldn't stop this yet. He should leave this going, so we're going to have to watch in the dark. Oh, he did stop it. Okay, that's interesting. Most of the time, a battle like that at ADCC, they probably would have kept it running, but fair enough. Okay, let's think about restarts at ADCC. Very important if you're ever in this position. Remember your positioning, or don't let go of your position, especially body locks. We see people argue and they try to weasel a hand back in and say, I was in a different spot. What PJ's doing here is clever. You just keep your spot and be ready to go. We see a lot of points scored on restarts. Let's see who wins this. Kade's going to Granby immediately. I'm gonna guess. Again, I haven't watched this for years. I don't actually know. He's either going to whip the whizzer back in or he's going to roll. PJ goes immediately to the back. All right, let's watch that one more time. Let's see what PJ did. Okay, so watch here. The referees just touched them. So what Kade really should be doing is keeping his right knee and his right elbow connected. Right, look what PJ does. He uses what we call a Kosoto Gari hook. So he uses the Kosoto to reap Kade's right leg long. Watch. Beautiful. See what he does there? So he reaps him long so he can put his right knee inside. This is beautiful work by PJ. See the knees inside? So he's pointing his knee back towards his groin. Perfect. There's the hook. Okay, so he gets one hook in. Now you've got it. Now Kade's gone, wait a sec. I kind of allowed that hook to come in. PJ did a great job. And now he's like, I better shut this down with my left elbow back towards my hip so that PJ can't throw that in. Now, I can't tell if is PJ behind the armpits still? I think he is. Just so you know, in that situation, seatbelt will get you knocked off more often than not. Don't do it. Stay behind the armpits. He actually decides to come and does the same technique again. Look, he uses the same Kosoto Gari or Kosoto hook to widen and then put his hook in. That's beautiful technique. Now he's trying to work a gut wrench variation, putting a bunch of weight through his right shoulder into the armpit of Kade. So it puts so much weight into Kade's right hand here. What PJ needs to be careful of is Kade stepping over him. So Kade taking his right leg and stepping over and trying to reverse him. Let's see if Kade does that. I don't know. Doesn't look like Kade's really attempting that. Kade's just trying to keep his balance. Yep, there it is. Watch. You see that? He's just taking his right leg around the corner. He's trying to hit a step around and go into some type of maybe either a makikomi roll, rolling back towards Kade's left, or trying to step all the way over and get on top of PJ. So he went to makikomi. So see what he tried to do? He went to step over and then sit back. But then PJ moved his leg back. So now when Kade sat, he sat with no control. And he actually sat on his ass. Now he's got a scramble. That was interesting. Now this is kind of mat folk style wrestling. I don't know. I think PJ wrestled through high school, I want to say. He might have even wrestled in college. Maybe people can put that in the comments. But he's a very good, he's one of the better wrestlers in our game. Let's see here. Same thing again here. He's putting weight into the hands. Don't turn that on. Hey, don't turn that on. You're going to fuck my whole thing up. You've already made me stop just then. If I'm filming, can you just not make any noise? I'm about 20 minutes away.
How long until I can watch it?
When I'm done. Any noise you make picks it up. You running that fucking microwave is going to be like a humming in the background. And action. Fuck's sake. Seriously? What?
She has your car key.
I know you want to make noise. I know it's hurting you, but just go around and have a nap on the lounge for 5 minutes. All right, you able to? You right? You able to be quiet? Get your noise out. Go bang something. Okay, you ready? And action. So PJ's putting weight into the hands here, and what? Kade just went for a switch there to try and switch. And so what you see PJ doing here is folk style wrestling. I'd say he wrestled in high school. So what he does here, he's cupping under the armpits. So rather than staying in the body lock there, when someone tries to sit out like this, you cup the armpits, and then from there you want to switch where you go inside a thigh pry, and you start, because what's likely here is that Kade starts to turn back into a turtle type position, and you just ride behind them, okay? So you switch side to side. It's not a bad drill to do. Let's see if that happens. He's trying to pull him back and pin him on his back. Oh, he was so close to getting the back there. Nice work by Kade in stopping the points, because that would have been the end of the match. We don't see people come back from 3 points down with 2 minutes left very often. But PJ still hasn't put that hook in. So you see this that Granby type escape there, which is not a bad idea, or kind of like a Berimbolo escape where you invert. Let's watch this. He actually does a similar thing in his match with Andrew at CGI. So watch. He'll take his head down towards his own hips and invert, and just basically invert out of the position. Quite nice. He wants top position. Yep, he's giving his back up again there. Great control by PJ. Oh, he's gone underneath. He's going to go for a single. Back to double. Oh, he's got to hit him with a switch. Let's run that again. Okay, so this may have been a mistake by PJ. I think when he had his hands locked behind the back, he was doing so well. And he switches out here and he goes to a high crutch. Watch. Here. He switches to high crutch here, head on the outside single. He could have also gone to double, taken his right hand to the far hip here and running down with the double, but he chooses high crutch. And what Ruotolo does, a good counter to a high crutch, is to weave in this case, it'll be his right hand, I think he does, and you're going to go into a switch. You weave it inside of PJ's right leg and you sit on him, you switch yourself around the corner back into your opponent's back. Let's watch. Boom. Okay, here we go. So as PJ tries to run him down, he goes to a switch. Look at it. Now, Kade is winning the battle here because PJ's shoulder is not in the pocket of his hip. His shoulder is out and Ty's coming around the corner. This is advantage Ty. Sorry, I keep calling him Ty. Advantage Kade. Beautiful. See as he's coming up into here, he's keeping his ear glued to his back, and notice his grip is below the knee. So what he can do is pull the leg. So PJ wants to sprawl his leg back, but because Kade is controlling below the knee, he's circling that back towards himself. It's very hard to sprawl the leg back. Yep. So he made him sit there. And now PJ's trying to turn back into him because he doesn't want to get pinned. You'll probably notice Kade's going to step across him here to try and pin him. Yep. Step across. Run him down. What a good scramble. Oh, PJ tried to sit back through on him, and then Kade managed to step over. Let's run that. This whole scramble's pretty cool. Watch here. Watch here. So he tries to go for a Sumigashi variation where he sits a hook in and he starts to sit him around. This is beautiful. And then look at Ruotolo read it, and then what he does here, he steps his right leg over. And now he's effectively in a half guard but he's got to try and flatten PJ back out. PJ's so good at scrambling. That's why this is such a... Oh, he hooked up the arm. That's beautiful. I'd actually forgotten how this match finished. That was lovely. Let's watch it again. Okay, so he gets to that. So if you remember earlier in the match, they ended up in a position where PJ was actually on top in this sort of falling off the back type position. And now Kade's ended up there. So what he does here, he hooks the leg with his left arm so that PJ can't turn out very well. And he's starting to extend the arm into the juji. So watch here. So watch. See, he's got the leg scoop. He actually bails on that to go into the break. He must have been very confident with the break. He locks into a shoulder, not quite what we call a shoulder senkaku, but in a position where he's got both feet up on the near side of the head. And what he wants to do here, because I think PJ tries to do a reverse hitchhiker to turn out. So what Kade's trying to do is put a heap of weight down into the top of the shoulder. He's controlling the thumb line. Yep, yeah, see what PJ's trying to do? He's trying to do that reverse hitchhiker where they turn, something the Rod brothers are very good at. They turn and start to go out. You've got to put weight into the shoulder, which is exactly what he's doing here. He ends up stuck in his leg. Yeah, the arm's pretty bent there. I mean, I would say that would have been a sore arm. Yeah, PJ's tap there. That's a fair bit of torque back the wrong direction. Really nice. Let's watch that one time and see if there's anything we missed. So it all came from that scramble. It's like whoever can keep the scramble going, and the Ruotolo brothers are just so good at it. So good at the scramble. Sits him down. They're playing a switch game. Sumigashi start to come back in. Beautiful. Chase to the back. Steps over. So watch. Effectively what PJ has here is a deep underhook. And that deep underhook is what is getting him into trouble here with the armbar, because you can reach back and start to lock up. And that's kind of what happened. See the arm? And PJ kind of realized it and tried to limp his arm back through, but Kade was ready and intercepted the arm. So that's beautiful. So now Kade's got his right arm on PJ's left arm, and he's got the leg weaved. So he follows him through, makes him roll. Beautiful. PJ decides, you know what? I'm going to hit a reverse turnout. But Kade shuts that down by putting weight in the shoulder, and then does this weird thing. I don't even know if he meant to here, but he actually catches his feet inside of PJ's knee. And what this did was it stopped PJ from being able to turn out anymore. I mean, that has to be an accident. I'd like to be able to ask him this. I don't think he did that deliberately, because he ends up clearing it out of there for the break, but it does the job of shutting down that particular escape. Look, he's starting to break. PJ's trying to kick his leg free because he feels his arm's about to snap off, and he can't even free his knee in line before he knee in time. That's interesting. I'll play around with that because I hadn't seen that before. And he gets the win. Man, that's crazy. What a match. I mean, that was match of the year, and I think Kade Ruotolo just keeps getting himself in these matches of the year situations. It's insane. This kid is just so good. I think he's 21 years old, and PJ from here, PJ's improved even more. So if you want to study good wrestling and takedowns, I would say both of these guys, watch their matches. You're gonna pick up lots of stuff. Awesome stuff. So if you enjoyed the one breaking this down, guys, I've got a online training program where what I do is I film all the sessions I run at the academy here, and we have question and answer time, and we have rolling rounds, and we have all the classes. And if you're kind of maybe a bit disillusioned or want to improve your jiu-jitsu, by all means, jump on and try out sydneywestonline.com. You can sign up for a week. I think it's $8 American. And see if you like it. And it's a program that can improve your jiu-jitsu. So not a big sale, but if you're enjoying the way that I look at jiu-jitsu, this is the same way I teach jiu-jitsu to my students. And I hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to keep doing these breakdowns, and let's hope that I don't get a strike from YouTube for using the footage here. Thank you very much to FloGrappling. We appreciate them allowing us to use this to break the match down, and hopefully you guys got some stuff out of it. And if you want to watch the whole match in its entirety, I'll put up the link one more time, and I'll put the link in the bio. All right, we'll see you on the next one. Catch you later.